strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
Davis.
Did you at any stage think I may never sing again?
I never thought I wouldn't. I couldn't. I just didn't want to.
Was Whitney Houston's demise truly an accident? Or is there a chilling conspiracy lurking behind the tragic demise of one of the greatest voices in music history? In this explosive video, we're diving deep into the shocking new claims suggesting that Whitney's demise was no mere accident, but a calculated act by ruthless substance dealers she allegedly owed a fortune.
I want the world to know that Bobbi Kristina did not die from the bathtub incident.
A former cop turned private investigator says he has the evidence to prove it all: surveillance footage, suspicious bruises, and even defensive wounds. As we peel back the layers of this dark mystery, prepare to uncover the startling connections and hidden secrets that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Whitney's final days. From high-powered substance lords to betrayal by those closest to her, the truth may be more sinister than anyone imagined. Stay tuned as we unravel the tangled web of lies, debts, and danger surrounding Whitney Houston's tragic end.
I had lived a life of fame and fortune and being in the, tabloids all the time.
I believe that there are several people that wanted Bobbi Kristina dead.
As the story unfolds, one can't help but notice the haunting parallels between Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina Brown's tragic endings. Whitney Houston, a name synonymous with extraordinary talent and a voice that could move mountains, saw her life unravel in the public eye. She rose to fame with hits like I Will Always Love You and Greatest Love of All. But behind the glitz and glamour was a woman battling personal demons that ultimately led to her untimely demise.
Through some things of adversity and getting through it was the...
Whitney's troubles began to surface more prominently during her tumultuous marriage to Bobby Brown. The couple's relationship was a constant tabloid spectacle, marked by allegations of infidelity, substance abuse, and public altercations. Whitney herself admitted to using substances before meeting Bobby, dispelling the myth that he was solely to blame for her downward spiral. In her own words, she was a functioning junkie, managing to maintain her career while battling addiction.
Never apparent to me, any meeting I had with her, any interchange I had with her, she was on top of her game.
Interestingly enough, the high point of Whitney's career was also the beginning of her personal struggles. Despite her attempts at sobriety, the pressures of fame and a troubled marriage took their toll. By the time of her tragic demise in February 2012, Whitney had already become a shadow of her former self. Her lifeless body was found submerged in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel just hours before she was supposed to attend Clive Davis' pre-Grammy party. The official cause of demise was accidental drowning, with heart disease and substance use cited as contributing factors.
At 3:55 p.m. this afternoon, Whitney Houston was pronounced at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
However, the presence of various other substances in her system painted a picture of a woman who was desperately trying to numb her pain. This leads us to the question, could Whitney's demise have been prevented if she had received better support and care? The heartbreaking answer may never be known, but what no one expected was the eerie and tragic fate that would befall her daughter, Bobbi Kristina, just 3 years later. Bobbi Kristina, affectionately known as Chrissy, idolized her mother and aspired to follow in her footsteps. However, the immense pressure of living up to Whitney's legacy, coupled with her own personal struggles, created a perfect storm. Like her mother, Bobbi Kristina found solace in substances. Her relationship with Nick Gordon, a figure who remains shrouded in controversy, only added to her woes. Nick Gordon was taken in by Whitney as a teenager and raised alongside Bobbi Kristina. Their relationship evolved from a sibling-like bond to a romantic one, much to the dismay of family and friends. The couple's volatile relationship was marred by allegations of abuse and manipulation. In a shocking twist, it was Nick who found Bobbi Kristina unconscious in the bathtub of their Atlanta home in January 2015, eerily mirroring her mother's fate.
I believe that somebody killed my niece, just like they killed her mother.
Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beat.
Bobbi Kristina's condition was dire. She was placed in a medically induced coma and remained unresponsive for nearly 6 months before passing away in July 2015. The similarities between her demise and Whitney's were chilling, leading many to speculate about the possible connection between the two tragedies. An autopsy revealed a combination of substances in her system. However, whether her demise was accidental or intentional remains a mystery. One insider revealed Bobbi Kristina's relationship with Nick was toxic. She felt isolated and dependent on him for everything. This dependency likely exacerbated her struggles, making it difficult for her to escape the same fate as her mother. Despite the court finding Nick Gordon liable for her demise in a wrongful demise lawsuit, the truth about what really happened behind closed doors may never fully come to light. The tragic parallels between Whitney and Bobbi Kristina's lives raise several hypothetical questions. Could it be that both women were caught in a cycle of abuse and addiction that they couldn't break free from? Did the pressures of fame and the expectations placed upon them contribute to their downfall?
She just said she was in denial on that occasion. And she said it's not as serious as you make out.
In a shocking revelation, Nick Gordon claimed that the night before Whitney's demise, she had saved Bobbi Kristina from a similar fate by pulling her out of a bathtub she had fallen asleep in. This anecdote, whether true or not, adds another layer of tragic irony to the story. It suggests that Whitney, despite her own struggles, was still trying to protect her daughter, even in her final days. The public's fascination with the Houston Brown family saga is understandable. It is a story filled with love, heartbreak, triumph, and tragedy. As we delve deeper into their lives, we uncover a pattern of self-destruction that is both compelling and tragic. The haunting similarities between their demises serve as a grim reminder of the destructive power of addiction and the pressures of living in the limelight.
But I think the purpose of her death was to gain full access to Whitney Houston's estate.
Interestingly enough, just as the controversy surrounding Whitney Houston's demise seems to have reached a fever pitch, new evidence has surfaced that casts even more doubt on the official narrative. A former police officer turned private investigator, Paul Huebel, claims to have obtained surveillance footage that shows two men entering Whitney's suite at the Beverly Hilton around the time of her demise. Huebel, who has been probing celebrity substance cases for years, alleges that these men were sent by powerful East Coast substance dealers to collect on a $1, 5 cents million debt Whitney owed. Huebel insists that the marks found on Whitney's body, the bruises, the cuts, and the defensive wounds all point to a violent struggle. Could it be that Whitney didn't just drown by accident, but was in fact forcibly drowned by these thugs? The idea seems outlandish, but the evidence Huebel presents is compelling enough to have caught the attention of the FBI. As the story unfolds, it's impossible to ignore the eerie similarities between Whitney's demise and that of her daughter, Bobbi Kristina Brown. Both were found unconscious in bathtubs, both had substances in their system, and both demises were surrounded by an air of mystery and suspicion. Bobbi Kristina's aunt, Leola Brown, has been vocal about her belief that her niece and Whitney both met with foul play. This was no accident, she said in an exclusive interview with Inside Edition. "I believe that somebody took my niece's life just like they took her mother's." Leola's claims are further fueled by the volatile relationship between Bobbi Kristina and her boyfriend, Nick Gordon, who was raised alongside Bobbi Kristina by Whitney herself, has been accused by Leola of being directly responsible for Bobbi Kristina's demise.
Other mysterious bruises on her head, arms, and thighs. Leola Brown.
While Gordon has never been formally charged in connection with Bobbi Kristina's demise, the shadow of suspicion looms large. This leads us to another controversial figure, Clive Davis. The legendary music mogul who discovered Whitney and orchestrated her rise to stardom has been implicated in some truly shocking allegations. Singer Jaguar Wright has claimed in a viral video that Davis not only manipulated and abused Whitney and Bobbi Kristina, but was also involved in their demises. Wright's accusations are explosive, suggesting that Davis introduced Whitney to substances and used his influence to control her career and finances. She even goes as far as to label Davis a devil worshiper, asserting that he kept compromising videos of his artists to blackmail them.
He needed her back. He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
Could it be that the glamorous world of music hides a much darker side? Are the demises of Whitney and Bobbi Kristina the result of sinister forces at play within the industry? These are questions that fuel endless speculation and intrigue. As the narrative deepens, one can't help but ponder the motives behind these alleged crimes. Was it purely financial, as Leola Brown suggests, or is there a more insidious motive linked to control and power within the music industry? The revelations by Jaguar Wright paint a picture of an industry riddled with exploitation and corruption. She warns other artists to stay away from Clive Davis and to demand justice for Whitney and Bobbi Kristina. Interestingly enough, despite the harrowing details emerging about Whitney and Bobbi Kristina's lives, there are those who still maintain that the demises were tragic accidents. The official reports, after all, point to accidental drowning compounded by substance use. However, the mounting evidence and testimonies from insiders and family members continue to fuel the belief that there is more to the story than meets the eye. Could it be that the truth about Whitney and Bobbi Kristina's demises is far more complex and sinister than anyone imagined? One can only hope that the new evidence being unearthed will lead to a clearer understanding of what truly happened. Until then, the speculation and intrigue will continue, keeping the public engrossed in the tragic saga of one of music's most iconic families. As we close this deep dive into the tragic and mysterious demises of Whitney Houston and Bobbi Kristina Brown, we leave you with some thought-provoking questions. Do you believe the theory that Whitney Houston was taken out by substance dealers? Or do you think her demise was a heartbreaking accident? Could the dark side of the music industry really be behind these tragedies? We want to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions and theories in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.